Leaving home can be hard, especially when you're young. Youth leave home for a number of reasons. My name is Fiona, and I am from the Youth Action Committee at Justice for Children and Youth. I hope to give you information and advice from teens who have been or are currently in a situation similar to yours. We spoke to teens here in Toronto, and to begin with, here is why they decided to leave home.
I left home to come and pursue a higher education, go to university, and I couldn't afford going to university and going to school at the same time because the OSAP, or the loan that student loan gave me, was basically to cover my tuition, and that was it. It was lonely.
Personal family issues, a lot with narcotics and drug uses that I had problems with, and my mom got sick of it, and it's like, yeah.
Oh, I met a girl, and so I came here to Toronto to be with her. I came from the other side of Canada.
I don't get along with my foster mother. I actually grew up in a foster home, so I don't get along with my foster mother, so that prompted me to leave.
How long do youth use these services? It depends.
I've been using Evergreen services for about 2 years now, a year and a half.
Yeah, I've been coming here for about 5 months.
I've been coming here for about a year.
We talked to Joanna McDonald, the Street Youth Legal Services Lawyer at Justice for Children and Youth, about some major topics that would be of interest to you. Here's what she had to say.
My name's Joanna, and I'm the Street Youth Legal Services Lawyer at Justice for Children and Youth, and I go to different youth drop-ins and shelters and help if you need legal advice. I might hook you up with a lawyer if it's criminal or you need some family law help. But even if it's something like getting your ID back from your parents, I could write a letter saying, this is your ID, you should have it back, before having to apply for it all over again. Or if you need help with your social assistance application or anything like that. So any sort of legal work, paperwork, come and find me, call me, and I'll give you my phone number, 416-920-1633, for legal help.
What should youth know when they're first leaving home?
Well, I think when youth are leaving home, especially if you're young, the really important thing is to find support and help to help you, whether it's get food or get shelter or carry on with, if you're religious, with your religious following, support if you have had a crime committed against you from someone older or just friends. So finding out where you can go to get either urgent support or more long-term help. So I think that's what you should know, is to try and go and link with other people at that moment. Youth should also maybe have in the back of their mind that they might, if they're leaving because it's a very bad relationship with the parents, maybe someday getting back with the parents, that maybe you could reconcile. Just maybe.
Yeah. Is social assistance available for you?
It is. Up to when you turn 16, you could get social assistance, 16 and 17. But the application's a little bit longer than if you're over 18, and you have to be going to school and maybe even volunteering, and usually you're supposed to have somebody that is older that's monitoring the money you're getting. But sometimes that's not necessary. So you have to fill out an application, and it's good to have the help of a support person doing that also.
How can youth go about replacing their personal identification cards, like health cards?
A lot of youth that are leaving home, especially if it's abusive or really traumatic, lose their ID. The parents have it, or they've run away, so it's in a drawer somewhere. And one way you can get it replaced is at 2 of the drop-ins, one at Shout Clinic and one at YouthLink, I know, have ID workers. And so there's a couple different agencies, the workers go there and you can apply to get your IDs back. It takes some time, but it's a free service that helps when you're homeless and young to do that.
Where do youth get assistance for food and clothing if they don't have any money?
Again, I think a couple of the drop-ins would have extra food and clothing. So Evergreen down the street on Yonge Street, near Covenant House at Gerrard, They have lunch and dinner every day, weekday, that you can go. Some high schools have food programs, as well. Where I go, Youth Link, which is over at Queen and Spadina, has morning food. Those are the downtown areas that I know, and other shelters would have dinners at least, and maybe bag lunches.
If a youth has just become homeless, where can they go to find a temporary home?
Well, there's the shelters, and there's shelters all over Toronto, from Second Base Shelter, that's out in Scarborough, to Youth Without Shelter, that's in Etobicoke, to the Y House, which is right downtown Toronto, and one in particular, if a youth is thinking they're going to be homeless for more than a week or something like that, that I like, is called Eva's Phoenix, and that's down in downtown Toronto, and you can apply and you can stay there for up to a year, and that's a great service if you think you're not going to have a home for a while longer. There's also some other supportive housings in our Peel Place is one that's in Peel region, or next to Covenant House, which is a temporary shelter, is a longer term home for people, and those are some options.
There are a number of places where you can go to get help. Let's meet one organization in downtown Toronto called Evergreen Centre for Street Youth.
Evergreen is a multi-service agency for street youth. We serve youth ages 16 to 24, and they are street involved, meaning they are either living outside on the streets, we call it rough on the streets, or they may be staying in shelters around the city. There's around 10 or 11 youth shelters right now. Or they may be couch surfing and have very unstable housing, or they may have permanent housing but are at risk for becoming homeless again. So the services we provide here are housing supports and stabilization, addiction prevention, that kind of thing. We also have an excellent team of staff that specialize in employment support services, people looking for jobs, people wanting to create resumes, that kind of thing. We also have specialists in education, so if you wish to complete their high school or perhaps fill out a college application and OSAP information, that's all available here. We have excellent health services, doctors, dentists, chiropractors, Chinese medicine doctor, all kinds of health supports for street-involved youth. And we have art programs and people who support and specialize in mental health issues as well.